I think that the people who have been most vocal in the last 7 months or so fall into two categories. They are what I describe as the sinister and the silly. The sinister are the ones who know exactly what they mean. When they say from the river to the sea, they know that they mean the eradication of the only Jewish state. They have a plan. They seem to approve of violence. They seem very often to be very sympathetic with Hamas, whilst knowing full well what Hamas does. And then there's the silly. And those are the ones who are very impressionable and along for the ride. I'm thinking of the sort of people who shout from the river to the sea endlessly, as if you shout something often enough, we'll agree, and couldn't identify which river they're talking about and have no idea what the sea is. There was a woman in New York who was captured on camera shouting, "From the mountain to the sea." Which mountain? I don't know, the Alps, something. Look at the way in which the world has reacted in recent weeks. In the last few days, trending on X, we have all eyes on Rafah. All eyes on Rafah. Why would you have all your eyes on Rafah? Always, of course, said as if the person in question has often thought about Rafah in the past and is an expert on the whole arrangements in the neighborhood. Of course, many of these people are the people who are experts on everything and have been expert on absolutely everything in recent years. They tended to be experts on pandemics first, then they were experts on vaccine policy, then they were experts on how to withdraw from Afghanistan, they were experts on Ukraine, and now they're experts on Rafah. It's amazing how much expertise there is among idiot people. But it's very striking to me because you can actually tell an awful lot by what somebody focuses on obsessively. And if you've decided that Gaza and Israel's reaction to the 7th and the attempt to get back the hostages and the attempt to punish by killing or capturing the leaders of Hamas is somehow the thing that is going to most energize you, again, I could have some sympathy if those people had ever expressed any concern about the much greater, infinitely greater humanitarian catastrophes which are going on as I speak. I see no people screaming outside the Kinchet Gabao because of the ongoing genocide in Sudan. By the way, there are almost no cameras in Sudan. I know one journalist who's trying to get there. I would have more sympathy with these protesters and others if they had spent the last decade or more marching and hollering and shouting and screaming and claiming that they're going to do a hunger strikes which tend to last about 12 hours. If they had done any of that for the 600,000 people or more killed in the last decade in the Syrian civil war, but not a peep. Not a peep. Not a peep from those people for the 300,000 people killed in Yemen in recent years. Not a demonstration, not a riot, not a placard. Some of the protesters have learned recently about the Houthis. I'm not sure if they know the difference. They seem to think they're the same thing as the Hutus, but let's put that aside for a moment. The Houthis had no sooner cropped up on the international stage firing at ships in the Red Sea and hitting a British vessel. No sooner had the protesters discovered the Houthis than they were hot for them as well. We had people in London chanting the next weekend, "Yemen, Yemen, make us proud, turn another ship around." Imagine just finding out about a terrorist movement and knowing, yep, those are my guys. They're the guys for me. And by the way, none of those people seem to object to the fact that 13 young men who are accused of being gay in Yemen last month were sentenced to death, including by crucifixion. Extraordinary thought that, again, an extraordinary place you can come to where you decide, I'm for anyone so long as they're against us. I'm for anyone as long as they're against the values that my society holds dear. I'm for anyone, so long as they're against, and I would say that you can insert at that point the word the Jews.